Hello everyone. Today I will be presenting a fascinating paper published in the journal Sleep Health in 2023. The title of the study is there an association between daytime napping, cognitive function, and brain volume? This research, led by Valentina Paz and colleagues from the University of the Republic in Uruguay and University College London, attempts to solve a long-standing debate about the health effects of napping using genetic data. First, let's look at the context. Daytime napping is incredibly common across the globe. However, science has given us mixed messages. Some observational studies say napping improves cognition, while others suggest it might be linked to cognitive decline. The core problem is causality. In traditional studies, it's hard to tell if napping causes brain changes, or if people with underlying health issues just happen to nap more. Therefore, the objective of this study was to use a method that allows for causal inference to investigate the relationship between habitual napping in two key areas: brain structure, specifically volume, and cognitive function. To solve the causality puzzle, the researchers used a method called Mendelian Randomization, or Mr. uses genetic variants as proxies for a behavior. Since our genes are randomly assigned at birth and don't change, they aren't influenced by confounding factors like lifestyle or illness in the same way self-reported habits are. They analyzed data from the UK Biobank, a massive dataset with nearly 400,000 participants. They used 92 specific genetic variants associated with daytime napping as the exposure, and looked at how these genes correlated with outcomes like brain volume, reaction time, and memory. Now, let's look at the most significant finding of the paper. The analysis revealed a causal link between genetic liability to habitual napping and larger total brain volume. Specifically, the difference was associated with an increase of approximately 15.8 cubic centimeters in brain volume. As you can see in the placeholder for Figure 1, the forest plot from the paper shows the estimates. The results were robust across different sensitivity analyses, suggesting this isn't just a statistical fluke. However, the story is nuanced. The researchers also looked specifically at the hippocampus, a brain region critical for memory. Despite the increase in total brain volume, they found no causal link between napping and hippocampal volume specifically. As shown in the placeholder for Figure 2, the estimates crossed the null line, indicating no effect. This suggests the brain volume benefits might be global or located in other regions, rather than the hippocampus. Does this structural benefit translate to immediate cognitive performance? Interestingly, the answer in this study was no. The researchers looked at reaction time, Figure 3, and visual memory, Figure 4. In both cases, the genetic analysis showed no causal effect. So, while napping might preserve the physical structure of the brain, it didn't necessarily lead to faster reaction times or better memory scores in this specific dataset. So, what does that 15.8 cubic centimeter increase actually mean in the real world? The authors provide a great comparison. They note that brain volume naturally declines with age. The difference observed in nappers is roughly equivalent to 2.6 to 6.5 years of aging-related brain atrophy. This implies that habitual napping could be neuroprotective. It might help compensate for poor sleep quality, effectively slowing down the structural shrinking of the brain that happens as we get older. In conclusion, this Mendelian randomization study provides evidence for a modest causal association between habitual daytime napping and larger total brain volume. However, this structural benefit did not translate to the specific cognitive functions measured here, nor did it impact the hippocampus. The authors suggest future research should look at other cognitive domains, like alertness, to see if the functional benefits appear there. Finally, based on these findings, here are 3 practical takeaways for your daily life. First, embrace the nap. If you are someone who naturally naps, don't feel guilty about it. This study suggests it could be preserving your brain tissue. Second, structure versus function. Don't be discouraged if you don't feel like a genius right after waking up. The benefits observed here are structural and long-term, preserving the brain's hardware rather than an immediate software boost. Third, listen to your body. Since this study was based on genetics, it reinforces the idea that the drive to nap is partly biological. If your body is telling you to nap, it may be a healthy compensatory mechanism to protect your brain. Thank you for watching.